Here what we're looking at is the advantages of using networks. So some of the reasons why we would use a network over a single machine on its own. And let's just first of all take a look at a typical kind of network structure. And so what we have here is we have got some computers here and also some computers down the bottom here. And these are terminals for users to use. And we've also got over here, we'll say that we've got some printers. And here we've got what is essentially a big hard disk, but that's acting as a file server. And we also might have a device like a DVD or a CD burner. And this might be a multiple DVD burner. And so this is what it looks like when they're all connected up, all these different devices, as opposed to one computer. And this would be a standalone machine, so we could just have a standalone machine, and that could connected to it have a printer, and it could connected have a large hard disk, and it could have connected some external burning device. And so the advantages that we have, first of all, of using a system which is networked is that we are able to share resources. And that's one of the key things which we can do. We can share the resources. So for instance, we could share files. So because all our files are sitting in one place, or because they're shared out through the network, it's possible that we can share files. We could have many people edit the same file. We could then store it in the same location, instead of having each individual's person files on each individual machine. We can also share out peripherals. And so that's things like printers, like scanners, and maybe a CD or a DVD writer or burner. And that saves us having to buy these individual peripherals for every single computer. So we could buy very expensive printers, but if we're sharing out them for 1,000 people, suddenly they're not so expensive, the cost is justified. And we can also share out other resources such as an internet connection. So a school, an institution, a university, a company would buy one, possibly two internet connections, and then they would share out that resource throughout the entire institution. So you may have 1,000, 10,000 people all using just one connection. So it means that you're only administering one system and you're sharing out the cost of that system as well. So that's a big point. The second thing, major thing which we can do with having a network over a single machine is that it's possible for us to have this computer here communicate with, say, this computer here. And the types of communications which we can use in those cases, so for communication, and the sort of examples we might have is email, and so the ability to send an email from one computer to another. Or it could be that you have a messaging system, so that two users or several users can chat together. And it might be systems for phones as well, audio conversations, and the popular one now is voice over IP, it's called, which is having a phone network over an IP network. So we enable communication as well by using networks. And the final one which we can think about is if we take a look at the network, it's possible to place someone in the central point, so this location here. You can have an administrator or a number of administrators who are doing the admin tasks for the network, and they can do it because all these computers are networked together and they can talk to each other. It's possible to do all that administration from a central location. So instead of them having to walk to every single computer, installing software, fixing problems like they would if it was a standalone machine, they can do it all centrally from their computer and then access the other computers that are there. So again, we have more advantages there, which are to do with systems administration, And it's possible to do things like install software remotely. And we can update computers and fix computers from a remote location. And it's possible from a central location to manage our users. So usernames, passwords, who's allowed to use the computer, who's not, all of that can be done centrally without having to walk around and update numerous computers. So it saves time, it's more efficient, and the system works more efficiently. And these are just some of the reasons, some of the key reasons why we make use of networks in any situation, in particular in, say, a school, a university, or a company.